quick. And we'll come into, or you'll start off in a comfortable seated position. And just bring yourself here seated into your space. Maybe close your eyes or find a spot to focus a soft gaze. Suss around on your sit bones so you feel that they're both equally rooted and grounded into your mat. And you can place your hands on your knees, palms up or palms down. If you need a little more grounding, I recommend palms down, but if you feel like you want to be receptive, palms up. And slowly push yourself back so the shoulders are in line with the hips, ears are in line with the shoulders, and you're able to sit up nice and tall. Use your inhale, create length, reach the crown of the head up towards the ceiling, and the tailbone comes down. And then as you exhale, encourage the shoulder blades to slide down and away from the ears. And another nice deep inhale roots you down and creates length. Exhale encourages the shoulder blades to slide down and away. Now, as you inhale, inhale in through your nose for a count of 4. Really focus on creating length as you're inhaling. And then exhale out through the nose, the same count. And really focus on drawing the shoulders down and away from the ears. And take a few cycles of breath this way. One more breath. And your next exhale, whenever that is, tip chin into chest. So maybe you use your nose to draw a line down to the ground. And don't force the chin into the chest, just let it fall. And take a cycle of breath here and notice any tension in the back of the neck. And maybe you can use your exhale here to encourage the scapulas to drop down and away from the ears. And then draw a line with your nose looking up towards the ceiling as you inhale, opening up the front of the throat gently. And then draw a line back down. With your breath, if you're a little bit ahead or behind, that's fine. We'll all find a spot that honors us where we're at. And then one more time, drawing a line with the nose, looking up towards the ceiling, opening up the throat again. Maybe you tip your head back just a little bit, but be mindful and remind yourself to keep the shoulders dropped down and away from the ears to create space. And then bring your nose back down to the ground, chin into chest. From here, roll the chin over to the right shoulder. Just stay here, let's not rush anything. And then come back into center. Over towards your left shoulder. And then come back into center. And go back over to your right side. And this time start finding connection with the breath. So as your inhale happens, maybe you come up to the shoulder. And slowly exhale, come back into center. And use your inhale to guide yourself over towards your left shoulder. And as you're doing this, think of this as an assessment that you're doing on your neck. This is your way of seeing where you may need to have a little more caution or self-care. And if it feels good to pause at one shoulder and take a full cycle of breath, stay there as long as you need to. This is your practice. You're just taking what I'm saying as suggestions and making them your own. And then finish whatever round you're on and meet back with the nose to neutral. And some of us are going to be there quicker than others. That's fine. We'll just take a couple of breaths. Awesome. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Fingertips point up towards the ceiling. Maybe look up at your fingertips. Give yourself a little back bend here. And the nose comes back into neutral. Set your right hand down. Lift your left arm up and over. And then reach your left arm up, set it down, lift right arm up and reach it up and over towards the left side. Really focus on keeping the sit bones rooted down to the ground. And then when your next inhale happens, reach your right arm up and left arm reaches over towards the right side as you exhale. And then use your inhale to guide your left arm up and your right arm over. And start flowing back and forth a little bit at the pace of your breath. So if we were all windmills in a field, some of us would be moving faster than others, and that's fine. Kind of doing our own thing. But as you move, you keep your grounding and your foundation in your sit bones. You maintain the breath that will serve you best. And then finish whatever side you're on and meet sitting back up, hands to the side. Cool. Walk your fingertips just a little bit away from both hips so that you're on your fingertips and you're sitting up nice and tall and you're pushing your fingertips into the ground and you feel just a gentle stretch. And if it's too much, you walk your fingertips a little bit closer to the hips. But you find that sweet spot where it's a nice stretch, but it's not overdoing it. And if you want to play around with a little bit of this here, maybe you drop your right ear to right shoulder gently. And then come back into center and left ear to left shoulder. And you might find you might need to adjust your fingers away from your hips. But you're just finding this nice gentle stretch along the top of the shoulders. You'll feel it just a little bit on the back side and in the front side of the shoulders, but it's just gentle. And down the arm line as well. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, coming back into center. And then extend both legs long in front of you. Remove any love that you have just to reset your sit bones back into the ground. Heels are touching into the mat, toes are up, pressing out through your feet. And then reach your arms up. Maybe look up at your fingertips. And then gently fold forward. Some of us are going to be able to touch our toes or maybe our feet, and others of us are going to feel comfortable with our hands on our shins or just outside of our mat. As long as we maintain a nice long spine as you fold forward. So you know what it feels like to keep the shoulders dropped down and away from the ear, so maintain that. And then when you find that spot that's feeling good to you in the low back and in the hamstrings, that's not too much, then gently drop the head. Take your inhale, really use that to root down through your sit bones, but maybe as you exhale, you imagine the crown of the head reaching forward a little bit towards your toes. Maybe you can fold a little bit deeper. One more cycle of breath. And then slowly walk yourself up. Cool. Okay, take your right ankle and place it on top of your left knee. You can see that? Your leg is still long. Keep your left toes engaged up towards the ceiling. If you feel like you want to place something underneath your right knee, you can for stability, but that's up to you. All right, so toss around, make sure you're rooted and grounded into your mat. Reach your arms up, full inhale. Fold forward as you exhale. And once again, your hands can frame your left leg or they wrap around your left toes. Spread your right toes to keep your right leg engaged. And here you're just kind of sussing around, how do you feel in the glute area, in the hips, both in the front and in the back. And just be gentle. Try not to, actually don't hold tension. If you're having tension, back off just a little bit. Two more breaths here. And then when your next exhale happens, exhale everything out and slowly use your inhale to come back up. And slide your right foot to the outside of your left knee. And then bend your left leg so the left heel is coming towards the right glute. So I'll face. Hug your right knee into your chest with your left arm. Set your right hand behind your back. Come up nice and tall. You can stay here if you would like and slowly rotate over towards your right side, or you can hook your left elbow to the outside of your right knee. It depends how deep of a rotation you're looking for today. You know, I like to hug the knee into the chest and keep it gentle, but that's up to you. I mean, you can go for the deeper rotation. There's no right or wrong. And maintaining the length in the spine, maybe you take the gaze over your right shoulder. And then slowly come back into center. Give yourself a counter twist so both hands come to the left side. A little counter twist here. And then back into center. And we'll switch sides. So from here, you're sitting up nice and tall. Take your left ankle over your right knee. Flex your left toes as a reminder to keep the left leg activated. Sit down through your sit bones or root down through your sit bones. Reach your arms up high to the sky. Maybe look at your fingertips and then fold forward. Hands can frame the right foot, or maybe you're taking a hold of the right, the hands can frame the right leg or you're taking a hold of the right foot. But you're not forcing anything where you're taking away the length in the spine. And then fold deeply. Two more breaths here. And once again, you're just taking the assessment, what's going on in the hips and in the low back today. And then slowly walk yourself back up. Set your left foot to the outside of your right knee and bend your right leg so the right heel is coming towards your left glute. Hug your left knee into your chest. Set your left hand to the back of your left side as a kickstand. And then it's your choice. Sit up nice and tall and slowly rotate. Or if you want a deeper rotation, take your right elbow, hook it to the outside of your left knee. Maintain length in your spine. And then it's yogi's choice. You want to take your gaze out over your left shoulder. And then use your exhale, come back into center, set both hands to the outside of the right body for a little counter twist. And slowly release. So come into a tabletop pose. So hands are underneath shoulders. Spread your fingers nice and wide. And really feel all aspects of your hands root down. Knees are underneath the hips. And tuck your toes under, drop your belly, look on up for your first cow pose. And then chin into chest, belly button into spine, toenails push into the mat for cat. And then find your cow pose as you inhale. Look on up, tuck under toes. Cat pose as you exhale. And flow here. Go back and forth using your breath to guide yourself between your cow and your cat. But as you flow, maintain the foundation in your hands and knees. And then complete whatever cycle you're on. Bring your big toes together, knees come wide, bum comes onto the heels, and find a child's pose. So forehead will come to the mat, hands will walk forward just a little bit so you create some nice extension in the arms. Forehead can touch the mat and maybe it rocks from side to side. And return back to your breath here that you said at the beginning. So at any point in tonight's practice, you can always drop into this pose. But when you're here, I want you to keep this a little active. So, as you have your inhale, imagine that you're creating length. You're setting your sit bones to your heels, your hands root down to your mat. And then as you exhale, you're dropping the shoulders down and away from the ears. Your hands are still planted. They're not moving anywhere. One more breath here. And then when your inhale happens, come back into your tabletop pose. Maybe walk your hands in front of you just a little bit. Tuck under toes. Send hips up to the sky for your first downward dog.
Now, if you're not certain of where your arms should be for your downward dog, come into a plank pose, the top of a push-up. So hands are underneath the shoulders, toes are planted, you're pushing out through your heels, the crown of the head is coming forward, and then send your hips up to the sky. That's usually a nice starting point to get the arm placement and hand placement for a downward dog. And feel free to move around here in your dog. The first one of the practice, and you may notice that the hamstrings are a little tight, so you bend the knees a little deeper. Or maybe you just need to get some movement going in the ankles, so you pedal the legs back and forth. Or you flirt around with taking your feet wide, as wide as your mat, so you have a little bit of a wide-legged dog, you know? You play around with it, see what feels good for you tonight. There's no right or wrong, you know? One more breath here. And then as you inhale, come into plank pose. So the top of a push-up. And if you're thinking, Laura, this isn't my jam, drop your knees, you know? So table, you got two variations, regular table or knees come down. Because it's yours, it'll be perfect. Take another breath here. Imagine that you're creating length, and then as you exhale, lower down slowly with control. So the torso is touching the ground, chin is touching the mat. Untuck your toes. Use your inhale, lift your chin, lift your chest for your first cobra pose. Be gentle on your low back, you know? Don't feel like you have to come up really high. Relax your butt. One more breath here. Exhale, lower. Push back into your downward dog. Cool. Lift your right leg high to the sky for your first three-legged dog pose. And if you want, you can always bend the knee, send the right foot over to the right side. Maybe make circles, one direction and then the other. And then find your three-legged downward dog. Square everything off. Keep your right leg high. Shift forward into plank. So now you're in a one-legged plank or a three-legged plank, depending on what school of thought you work with. And then lower down slowly. And then bring your right foot down to the ground. Come up into your little cobra pose. Untuck your toes, relax your butt. And then as you exhale, lower back down, push back into downward dog. And then lift your left leg high to the sky, bend your left knee. Maybe you make circles with the ankle or the knee. And then you come back into a traditional three-legged downward dog. Same thing here. Shift forward into plank, keeping the left leg high. Belly button into spine. And then lower down slowly. Have your left foot meet right on tucked toes. Come on up, little baby cobra pose. And then as you exhale one last time, push up into plank pose, then downward dog. From here, let's make the breath a little audible. So take a full inhale in through the nose. And then when you exhale, stick out your tongue and really breathe out through the mouth. So take another nice full inhale in. Sigh it out through the mouth. Cool. You can always do that at any point in your downward dog, by the way. All right, take a nice full inhale. Let's take a walk to the top of the mat as you exhale for your first forward fold. Once again, if you need to be gentle on your hamstrings or your low back, you bend a little deeper, you know, bend the knees. And maybe it feels good to go from side to side, just for a beat or two. And then find some stillness in your fold. Find a halfway lift tonight. So maybe it's fingertips on the mat, shin or thigh. But a halfway lift is keeping the belly button in the spine, a nice flat back. Crown of the head's reaching towards the back of your mat. I'm sorry, tailbone towards the back of the mat, crown of the head's towards the top of the mat. Fold forward deeply. And then root down through your feet. Reach your arms up to the sky as you inhale. And then hands come down to the side for a little Samasthiti or mountain pose. Okay, while you're here, root down through your feet. Keep your knees soft. Don't lock your feet out or lock your legs. And just imagine once again that the shoulders are over the hips, ears are in line with the shoulders, that your feet are rooted down to the mat and the crown of the head is coming up towards the sky. That you're maintaining this beautiful foundation. And then as you inhale, reach your arms up, maybe give yourself a back bend. Fold forward as you exhale. And then your halfway lift. Plant your hands, step into plank pose. Lower down slowly, or maybe you're ready for a chaturanga. And then come up into your back bend. So it could be an up dog or a cobra pose. And then as you exhale, come into downward dog for 5 breaths. And if you feel you need a child's pose, it's there for you. Just remember, if you pick child's pose, keep it a little active. And if you want to return to the audible breath in downward dog, feel welcome to it. Two more breaths here. So if the child's pose people need to, they can slowly meet us in a downward dog. Cool. Use your exhale then to walk your feet to the back of your hands, finding your fold, your halfway lift, your fold, and then reach up, rise up, arms come high to the sky, nice full inhale. Fold forward as you exhale. Halfway lift. Plant your hands, right foot comes back into a high runner's lunge. Left foot is planted, it's rooted, it's grounded. Right toes are planted, push out through the right heel, look forward. So you're opening up the chest, you're not rounding in. Awesome. Leave your right hand planted to the inside of the left arm. Reach your left arm up high to the sky. A little twist here. Keep the right leg activated by pushing out through the right heel. Left foot is still rooted down. Awesome. Okay. Keep your foundation. Left foot rooted, right foot is rooted. Reach your left arm back as you reach your right arm forward, and then look over your right hand. So you have a little twist going here. One more breath. And then have your left hand reach forward with your right and then reach arms up. So you're in a crescent lunge with a salute. Two more breaths. And then as you exhale, frame your left foot, and it's your choice. You can send your left leg back into a 3-legged plank and take it through your flow, or set left toes down and take it through a flow and meet in downward dog. And your downward dog can be a 3-legged downward dog and then meet with both feet on the ground. 2 more breaths here. And then reach your right leg high to the sky, 3-legged downward dog. Step your right foot through to your hand, coming into your runner's lunge here. Beautiful. Use your inhale, reach up. And then cactus your arms and look up. Maybe you sink a little lower in your lunge, push it out through the left heel. And then reach arms high to the sky, frame your right foot, left foot meets right, forward fold. Take a breath or two here. And then find your halfway lift, your fold. Rooting down through your feet, reach up, rise up, arms come high to the sky. Nice full inhale. Fold forward as you exhale. Halfway lift. Plant your hands, left foot comes back. High runner's lunge. You've been here before, you were just here. Okay. Rooting down through your right foot, pushing out through the left heel. Plant your left hand, reach your right arm up to the sky, easy twist. Have your foundation here. Make any adjustments you need. Beautiful. Reach your right arm back, left arm forward, come on up. Crown of the head reaches towards the ceiling, looking over your left hand. Push down through your right foot. Push out through the left heel. And then bring your right arm to meet your left. And bring both arms up high to the sky. Turn the pinkies in to remind yourself to drop the shoulders down and away from the ears. One more breath. And then as you exhale, frame your right foot, step back into plank. If you want to do a 3-legged plank, you can, and take it through your flow. One more breath. So if you're in a child's pose, make your way into your downward dog. And then lift your left leg high to the sky. Step left foot through to meet right. Root down. Reach arms up. Beautiful. Frame your left foot with your hand, step right forward, foot forward to meet left, forward fold. Find your halfway lift, your fold. And then this time reach up, rise up, bring your arms up overhead. Bend your knees, settle into your chair pose. One more breath here. And then as you inhale, reach your arms up. Fold forward. Find a halfway lift. Plant your hand, step your right foot back, spin your right heel down, root down through both feet, and then use your arms to reach up. Warrior one. So push out through the lateral side or the outside part of your right foot. Left foot stays planted. Push down and imagine that you're trying to bring them together to give yourself lift. Maybe bend a little deeper in the left knee. And then open your arms up into your warrior two. So you're going to walk your right foot back just a little bit so the right toes are pointed towards the right side of your mat. Arms come out to a T. Look out over your left fingertips. And then drop your right hand back, left arm comes high to the sky. Reverse warrior. Bend deeply in the left knee. And then come back into your warrior two. Straighten your left leg. Send your right hip back as you reach your left arm forward. Tip left hand to left shin, right arm comes high to the sky. Triangle pose. And then come back up into your warrior two. And then find your way into your warrior one. Frame your left foot and take it through your flow, meeting in downward dog. From here, reach your right arm high to the sky, or right leg high to the sky. Step your right foot through to your hands. Left toes are still planted, and then reach up, find your salute. Set your left heel down for your warrior one. And then open up into your warrior two. Looking out over your right fingertips. Hips are pointing towards the left side of your mat. Bend deeply. And then drop your left hand to the back of the left thigh. Right hand comes high to the sky. And then find your way back into your warrior two. Straighten your right leg, send left hip back, right hand forward and down to the shin. Look up for triangle pose. And then use your inhale to root down through your knees and come on up into your warrior two. Exhale into warrior one. Stay here for a breath. And then as you exhale, frame your right foot, step back into plank pose, and take it through your flow. Two more breaths here. And then on your next exhale, walk your feet to the back of your hands, finding your fold. Your halfway lift. Your fold. And then as you reach up and rise up, you bend your knees deeply and come back into your chair pose. And then inhale, come on up, back into mountain. Root down onto your left foot. Okay. And then have your right hand out to the side and kick your right heel into your right hand. And then lift your left arm up. Find your balance, your drishti spot. And if you would like, you can start tipping forward, pushing the right hand or the right foot into the right hand, reaching the left arm forward for a dancer pose. And if you fall out, just come back in. One more breath here. Okay. Slowly bring the right knee into the chest and hug your right knee in. Push down through your left foot. Open up the shoulders here. And then cross your right ankle over left knee and bend into your chair, your figure four chair. If you would like, you can place your hands onto the ground and give yourself a deeper stretch in the glutes if you need it. And then bring yourself back up and slowly release. Come back into your little chair pose, just a baby chair here. And then come back up. All right, let's switch sides. You're doing great. Rooting down through your right foot. You can have your right hand on your hip. It's kind of really hard to demo. And then bring your left foot into your left hand. And stay here. Or bring the right arm up parallel to the right ear. Rooting down through your right foot, make choices. Do you want to start taking the left foot back, right arm forward, or are you feeling pretty good here at base? Some of you are going to be able to take it into the full dancer expression, and others are going to stay here. Or some of us are somewhere in between. No right or wrong. Root down through your right foot, you've got this. And then slowly bring the left knee into your chest. Hug the left knee in. Maybe make circles with the left foot. And then cross the left ankle over the right knee. You were here before, only sitting. And then if you would like, you can come down into your figure four chair pose or set your hands onto the mat if you would like a deeper stretch. And then slowly come out. And set both feet down. Take another chair pose. Maybe come up on the balls of the feet. And then place both feet down, fold forward. Find a halfway lift here. Plant your hands, step back into plank pose. And lower down slowly. Cool. Chin is onto the mat, or maybe your forehead is onto the mat. My chin's on the mat. Bring both heels to your butt and grab a hold of your feet or your pants. You can grab a hold of your pants too. Just be mindful that you're really focusing on externally rotating your arms and you're not forcing the arm to come back to reach, but it's a beautiful rotation, opening up the pecs. And then take a nice full inhale and exhale. And use your inhale to bring yourself up into your bow pose. Maybe you come up a little higher as you inhale. Some of us may feel like we want to rock back and forth a little bit, but gently. Push your feet into your hands to open up more. Or if you feel like you need to come down out of it just a little bit, that's fine too. One more breath. And then exhale, slowly release. Place the forehead onto the mat. Hands come underneath the shoulders. Beautiful. Tuck under your toes and push yourself back up into a plank pose. And then bring your right forearm down, followed by the left. So now you're on a forearm plank. And then bring your right hand to where your right elbow was, left hand to where left elbow was. Push out through the heels, keep your plank strong. Left forearm comes down, right forearm comes down. Left hand where left elbow was, right hand where right elbow was. One more time on both sides. So right forearm, left forearm. Right hand, left hand. Left forearm, right forearm. Left hand, right hand. Hold your plank pose. All right, drop your knees, child's pose. Make this an active child's pose. Remember what I said at the beginning, really focus on taking the sit bones to the heels. Hands are planted. You're creating this length as you inhale and then space as you exhale. And then slowly bring yourself up. And bring your legs to one side so that you have your feet flat, knees up. And then tuck your chin into chest and slowly lower down one vertebra at a time. Keep your feet flat, keep the knees up. Beautiful. Take your feet as wide as your hips. Hands are to the side, so maybe your fingertips brush your heels. So walk your heels towards your bum. You'll set up for your bridge pose. Forearms are touching the mat. Suss around a little bit so your shoulder blades are touching the mat. Root down through your feet. Remember, that's your foundation. And then when you inhale, lift your hips up. Maybe you tuck the chin into chest just a little bit. Keep your gaze up towards the ceiling. Push down through your feet. Relax your butt. A little hard, I know. Use your inhale to guide your hips a little higher. And And then exhale, start at the top of the spine and work your way down one vertebra at a time. And allow the knees to fall in. All right, knees back straight. And then when you're ready, on your inhale, come into your bridge pose. Lift the hips up. And if wheel is in your practice, you can go there now. If you want to flirt around with it, take your hands to your ears and flip your palms so your fingertips are pointing towards your shoulders. And then push down through your hands. Take the crown of the head towards your mat. And then use your inhale to push yourself. Keep the butt relaxed. Or stay in bridge pose. Stay in bridge pose. That's always nice too. If you're in wheel pose, slowly lower down as you came in. So crown of the head comes down, then base of the skull. Then hands come down to the side. And we're back in bridge with everyone else. And then slowly lower down one vertebra at a time. Neat. And then walk your feet as wide as your mat and allow your knees to fall into a constructive restful pose. And then wherever you're at, hug your knees into your chest and take your knees as wide as your shoulders. So sometimes we have the knees in close, but this time take them as wide as your shoulders. Squeeze the shins and maybe rock from side to side. Keep the low back engaged. And then take your arms out to a T. Knees are still wide, and then allow your knees to fall over to the right side. So you'll feel your right knee touch down, and then when your left knee touches down, it'll touch near your right foot. If you want something a little deeper, hook your right foot on top of your left knee, and take your gaze out over towards the left side, looking out over your left fingertips. But if this is not your jam and you are not feeling this at all, I want you to come back into center, bring the knees together, and then come back over to the right side, okay? So you have a couple of options of how deep you want to take your twist. It's your twist, so make it yours. And then slowly come back into center, hug the knees into the chest. Even if you took the closed knee option, go ahead and bring them wide one more time. And then I recommend, if you stayed wide on the right side, stay wide on this side, but if you closed your knees, close them together now. And then bring your arms out to a T and allow your knees to fall over now onto the left side. And you can use the option too, if you took a wide knee twist, to bring the left knee on top of the right, or the left foot on top of the right knee. And take the gaze out over the right fingertip. And then bring the gaze back into center. Both of the knees come into the chest. And it's your choice. Do you want to rock from side to side, or maybe place your hands onto your knees and do a circular motion with your hips? If you've noticed in tonight's practice that your low back was a little tight, maybe doing some circles with the hips will feel good. And if you need more of a massage on your spine, going from side to side is always a nice option. But once again, no right, no wrong. And then bring your arms down to the side like you did in bridge pose, and both legs come up high to the sky for legs up against the wall. If you want, you can lift your hips and stack your hands underneath the small of your back. And if you have any other inversion in your practice, you may go there now. The goal is just to have the feet above the heart. You're encouraging all the blood flow from the feet and from the lower extremities to recirculate back into the heart, to be reoxygenated by the blood, and then sent back out. And then wherever you're at in your inversion, slowly come out. Extend one leg long, then the other. Reach both arms up overhead. Give yourself a full body stretch. And then bring your arms down to the side as you come into your Shavasana. And I will mind the time for you. All right, yogis. Take a nice full inhale in. Sigh it out. And make your way onto your right side. And then when you're ready, slowly come up into a seated position. Come up nice and tall. Reach your arms up overhead. Bring them together in prayer and pull them down through heart center. Reach up with a full inhale. Heart center as you exhale. One more time, full inhale up. And this time, pause at your third eye, the space in between the eyebrows, as a reminder to have loving thoughts. And then pause at your lips as a reminder to have loving words.
And then pause at your heart with a soft bow as a reminder to have loving actions towards yourself and towards others. The light and love in me acknowledges and honors the light and love in you. Namaste. All right.